We've got ice and snow on the ground and more headed on the way for just a few more days, so it's a perfect day for some homemade soup. So today we're going to make some broccoli soup. It's actually going to be a broccoli cream soup. So what we've got here, we've got 4 cups of fresh broccoli. We're going to stick that in a large amount of boiling water. We're going to cover that, and we're going to let this boil for 8 to 10 minutes. Alright, it's been 8 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. Try not to make a mess with our water there. I'm going to take about 1 cup, and this we're going to do about a nice scoop of our broccoli. I'm going to use my pan here so I don't make a mess. And I'm going to, as we're draining that right there, I'm going to stick that into our blender. To that, I'm going to add 3/4 a cup of chicken stock. I can't talk while pouring. That makes it just a little bit too dangerous for me. Put my lid on that, and I'm going to blend that until it's nice and smooth. Only takes about 30 seconds. So go ahead and take that lid off there. I'm going to take the rest of my broccoli over here. Let's go ahead and dip that out. If you want, you can strain it with a little strainer, which we got out, but apparently I've decided that we don't need all of a sudden. We're going to dump the water out. Using the same pan so we don't have to make too large of a mess, we're going to add to that same pan, turn our heat back on. Add 1 tablespoon of salted butter. Get that mixed in there real quick. I love broccoli soup. It's got a lot of flavor, and this is going to be great. It's got your chicken stock. We're going to add some sharp cheese, American cheese to that. I'm sorry, cheddar cheese. That where it's hot and bubbling just a little bit. The butter's running away from me. Alright, to that we're going to add 1 tablespoon of flour. We're also going to add 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt, 1/4 a teaspoon of lemon pepper. Make sure you get a good lemon pepper. We looked at some of the ingredients in some of these and they were really kind of scary. And then we'll add just a dash or a pinch of black pepper. Give that a nice stir. We're kind of making a roux here. We're going to let that cook for roughly 1 minute. While it's cooking, I'm going to grab some milk. Alright. I love the smell of lemon pepper and all these different seasonings. They smell really good. And when you take a look at it, it's almost like your butter's browning just a little bit. That flour in there. Alright, to that, I'm now going to add 1 cup of whole milk. If you don't want to use whole milk, you can always use half and half. Give that a nice stir. I'm just going to let this thicken up just a little bit. Or as you can tell, it's on. I mean, you've got some, that's almost like a very light gravy. To that, we're going to add our broccoli stuff that we blended up. Gives it a nice green color. Gonna also add 1 cup of our cheese, which is the sharp cheddar. If you want to use American cheese, you can. We're going to add another 3/4 cup of chicken stock. Give that a nice stir. Let that cheese melt. Our goal is for that cheese to get nice and melted, so that's going to take just a moment. And while that's doing it, we're going to go ahead and add the rest of our vegetables in there. And yes, I did forget the name of it for just a second. Alright. Now if you want, we've got our broccoli there in pretty large chunks. You can always make them smaller if you want. I can take my spatula there, and I'm kind of, well, making a mess. But I'm also breaking it up just a little bit, so that way they're not quite as large. Let's turn nice and hot. Our main goal now is to get that cheese melted, and then we'll have a nice, tasty broccoli cream and cheddar soup. Alright, we're almost finished. We're letting it thicken up we were letting it thicken up just a tad bit. I couldn't talk there for a second. While doing that, I've been taking my spatula there and just kind of making it just a little bit smoother by pressing some of that down. So that way we don't have lots of big chunks. You can see little chunks, but not a ton. But our soup is now done. It only took 3 or 4 minutes. This entire soup recipe, after the 8 to 10 minutes on your broccoli, is only about our 5 or 6 minute job. I'm going to take this, take my bowl here, pour that soup on top, inside. I'm going to top with this, just a little bit more cheddar cheese because, you know, we love cheddar cheese. And there we have it, a creamy broccoli and cheddar soup. Enjoy the recipe.